Now, personally, obviously there's different thoughts on trader psychology. I even had a boot camper once who was a psychologist, okay, a doctor, and said, "You're speaking a load of rubbish. There is no such thing as psychological issues in trading." I would be very careful, Tony. Yeah. Some European guy, I forget his name, I think it's from Europe somewhere. No such thing as psychology in trading. I'm like, sorry? There has to be. No, it wasn't Wim. Okay? So, being strong psychologically and the strict following of your trading rules are critical to your survival. Period. Okay? If you cannot achieve these, if you do not think you will be able to achieve this, ever, what I'm highlighting in yellow, please leave the webinar now. Because that's where we're at. You're not going to make it. This is what sorts the men from the boys, I'm telling you. It is not your system, what you're using, the tools, the special whiz-bang indicator. What is the difference between a man and a boy in trading is how psychologically strong you are and can you stick to your rules. Period. Okay, you need to be strong here. This is where I've put most of my focus, guys. In my very short coming up 3 years of a full-time trader, probably the last 1.5 years, most focus has been on my psychology. It does not take rocket science to work out where support and resistance is. It does not take rocket science to work out where to execute a trade and where to get out of it. But it does take some special skills to be able to take a couple of bad losses and get back up on that horse and do it again. Staring at exactly the same sort of trade again that you just took 2 or 3 losses in a row on and say, I'm confident this will work. But that's what you need to be able to achieve. Okay? And as I was mentioning before, aspects of all your psychology go hand in hand with your analysis. Okay? And your trade planning and the execution. Hands up in the room, who whenever they take a trade, the moment they take a trade, they're thinking, I shouldn't have done that. And constantly, every single time they take a trade, the sort of heart starts beating, and they immediately think that that does not look as good as what it did 1 minute ago. Well, that's good to see, Colin, because if that's the case, you've got issues back in the old analysis and trade planning area. Okay, you need to be a good trader. Okay, is confident in their analysis and trade planning. Okay, we accept losses. Anyone in the room? Anyone in the room? Every time they take a loss is trying to break down things as much as humanly possible to work out why that was a loss. I.e., who struggles to accept losses? Is there anyone in the room? Is there anyone in the room who's a high achiever, straight A's all the time, always was right, never been wrong? Because if you're one of those folks, of course you were wrong. I mean, if you're one of those people, you're going to struggle. Because I don't care what they say. Losses are a big part of trading. I take lots of losses all the time. Don't think that people educating you or people whose book you read are people who do not take losses, and they've got some whiz-bang, perfectly rendered end-to-end trading system that does not do that. That is not in existence. Okay? A good trader is someone who's confident in their analysis and their trade planning. We do not micromanage the trades. I think we were discussing that a little bit last night. We don't sort of, oh my God, it's going against me, I'm getting out, and then watch it go in that direction you wanted it to. And we just accept losses and move on. We trade our trade. If I've got direction wrong, I take a loss and I go line up a new one. Yeah, I mean, we all hate losses, Steve, right? But we need to, you just need to, and this took me a while. They're part and parcel of the game, but it's that, if you can stick with your system long enough, you'll see that everything works out well in the end. Okay? Being strong psychologically, guys, means being able to absorb many losses in a row, but can line up exactly the same trade despite, taking some losses. So, this will be me, right? For example, this is me in my own personal trading. And I'll show you this on the Forex tester when we do some testing, because next week, maybe, in the coming weeks, I will show you exactly how I trade, and we'll make 10 trades, and you'll see, like, the first trade will be a break even, and then the next trade might be a minus 17, and then the next trade might be a minus 12, and then the next trade might be another break even, and then the next trade will be a plus 64, and then you might take a minus 14, and then suddenly everything sort of works itself, and you go get a plus 182. That's sort of part and parcel of what happens. No, absorbing losses will not wipe out the money if you can stick to your plan. If you have confidence in your analysis and trade planning, a higher percentage of the time you'll be successful. And that would be like 2 days of my trading, guys. Like, that would be like something that might happen on like a Monday and Tuesday. Like Asia, bad. New York started off bad. And then Asia maybe the next day, that might be the Tuesday, good. And then like New York bad, but then you planted something in New York that went. Right? That sort of thing is part and parcel of trading. And that's the sort of thing that you should be looking for, is you just absorb losses, but then suddenly something's going to sort of work itself out and all will be good.